G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I've got a very quick video for you today. It's the June 2024 Collage Club set of printables, and it's all mermaids. Every single last bit of Collage Club is mermaids, much like we've been doing mermaids all through May. It just stands to reason that they'd probably all end up in Collage Club, since I like to share what I'm currently doing. I like to go back into the archives. I like to keep it relevant. I like to keep it specific. And I also like to keep it very varied in general as well. So none of it really makes sense. But I did say I was going to put them all in here. There is every single mermaid 2024 mermaid in here, but there's not every single one from my journal. There are still a bunch that I haven't shared. I got up to 7 pages and I was like, this is so much. So there's 7 pages here plus an 8th page that is all the minis, because I wanted to put the minis in my 5-year journal. So that's kind of a repeat of what's already in the 7 sheets that are already here. And then I filled some spaces with other ones that were just in the journal as well. So there weren't any blank spaces. So there's a ton. There's all of the 31 that we did throughout May, and then there's a bunch of others as well. So let's get right into it. I'm going to do a flip of that journal at some point, so I don't need to go into depth about how each of these were made. I'll probably talk about those over there. But here's the Starbucks paper bag one. Here are all those mermaids. I guess I'll just point out the extras that weren't a part of Mermaid, since you might not have seen those. This was a straw from Starbucks that I made into the Starbucks mermaid. It was the straw cover, the little paper straw. So I used that, some weird little fish mermaid thing, and there's a bunch of these little fish in different colors as well. So that's page 1. Page 2, I have, this is a doll banana sticker. I used all of my banana and apple stickers throughout the month. Not even all of them. Some of them didn't have stickers, which was annoying. But I used the stickers to create little mermaids as well. So there's a ton of those. Not even just mermaids, there's jellyfish. A lot of the apples became jellyfish. So you'll see a bunch of those in here as well. It was just something that happened one day. It caught on. I kept doing it. Then every time I would eat a banana or an apple, I'd try and save the sticker. Even if I was at work, I was trying to bring it home so I could make one. So my journal is just kind of full of them. They're really funny. That's page 2. Some of the crayon ones didn't fit, so I had to put it over here as well. Page 3, it's little crumbs from the cutting machine, has everything from Mermaid, so there's nothing that you haven't seen there already. Page 4, there's one of those banana stickers that became a little cat mermaid. These are all fun. I made the cut line a complete circle, so they're just kind of circle seal stickers. That'd be fun to color in. I don't usually color in when I print on the gloss paper. I print it on a matte paper if I wanted to color it in, but I thought these were cute anyway. These actually took 1 billion years. It's just one of those things that when I do Collage Club, you just never know where all the time is gonna be sucked out of the process. And it was just on these 2. You wouldn't guess it, of all the things that I had to edit, but each mermaid didn't really stand out on the paper because it was very, there was such weird tonal differences in the scanning. I even tried photographing it. That didn't work either. So I had to go in with an eraser and actually erase every single bit of paper and only leave the line work, which meant I had to get into every little nook and cranny in between every little detail. It was so aggravating. So please at least use these 2. If you use anything, just for the effort that I put into making sure they looked good. It's so funny because they look so simple. It should have been so easy, but anyway, they're beautiful little stickers. I can peel off my sheet now. The cut lines for those are separate, so you can use them separately or put them back together if you would like. We have this page. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got all the Kokeshi doll inspired ones, lots of the little banana and the little banana mermaids, extras of those fishes in different colors. I'm not even quite sure if I've got a full rainbow, but I think I do. So happy pride on those fishes. And then, yeah, all the rest were mermaid. Here is one of the jellyfish. I put the apple sticker down, kind of did this Jim Henson Kermit the Frog eyes. I don't know why. And then did these long tails that I ended up coloring in with either highlighters or just different pencils that I had laying around. Another fish. And this was one of the pieces I did for Mermaid. It was actually the back of the page. It was this piece right here. So you can see it's kind of a flipped mirror image. This was alcohol marker. It bled through. So I put a I was originally going to gesso the back of the page or like do a transparent matte medium, but I ended up putting tracing paper over the top. So it kind of dulled down the effect. And then I redrew over the top of it. It just has a completely different look. You can kind of still see the coral from her headpiece behind there. It just looks really interesting. These look like tattoos on them. Obviously I've, kind of completely changed the aesthetic, but I really enjoyed doing that. That was a fun little process. Nice little creative frenzy I went on there. All the fish, the jellyfish, and the rest were mermaid. Here was actually a little Starbucks label on the drink, but I've taken the words out so you can have that. Oh, I should have shown you here too. A little edit that I made just to make sure I wasn't stepping on any copyright toes. Over here on this page, this mermaid that I drew that was inspired by Bao Pham had the sticker that was on the page as well, but I didn't want to just cut it off here and not include the tail. So I ended up kind of adding that line on the bottom to complete the tail, and then I pixelated that and put it in black and white so that it wouldn't resemble the original, and we could make sure that I wasn't breaking any rules there. So that's what that is if you're a little confused. This was the original sketch that I did that I ended up redrawing as one of the days of Mermaid. The original was so much better, so I wanted to include that. I did not like this one, but I mean, she is just so much moodier. Some extra little brushstroke mermaids, these little jellyfish, more fists. Love the fists. And this was the last one that I did, which I used that same technique, the tracing paper and then getting really mixed media on top of it, except it wasn't the back of a page. I actually underpainted the whole thing and then stuck it straight on top. Slightly the same effect. It's kind of the same idea. I just like it because I guess now you don't have to be too precious about using alcohol markers in your journal if you're willing to do the same thing kind of flipped on the back and just reinvent the piece on the back, depending on how your journals are. Some people like to be a bit neater than that. And then the rest are mermaid. I'm really happy with how this came out color-wise. Usually the really wild cards when you use some oranges and, green and golds. I'm not quite sure with the green and golds if they just print differently or if my eyes just don't see it the same way. But a lot of the time, when I'm editing, I edit in RGB and you print in CMYK, and I like to edit in RGB because everyone's printer is just different, and a lot of the settings will automatically suggest to the printer what colors would be best to match it to the best that's on the screen. If you're doing it in CMYK, it just kind of looks dull, I always feel. So I leave it in RGB, and that's how you can get some really beautiful, vivid, rainbows like this. CMYK doesn't tend to produce anything that vivid, so it is just a risk though, because I edit it in such a way where it truly does kind of represent what is in my journal. These very bright colors, these very saturated colors, but printers just aren't always capable of doing that. They've only got, 3 colored ink tanks and a black, and so there's only so much they can mix together with those little drops. So when it works out like this and the colors look super close to the original and they're really hard colors to get the printer to print out a lot of the time, I get really, really happy and excited. It's such a stupid little thing, but if you ever fussed around with calibrating printers before, you just know it's a nightmare. Colors are just, and they start to work, and then you change the ink tank because it runs out, and the ink tank is just not working as well as the other one, and it's slightly off again, and it's just always a thing. Anyway, this is the last page, page number 8. These are the minis. This is all 31 days. However, it's not every single mermaid. You can see the Alexander Gerard, Kokeshi doll inspired pieces. There's only one of those. There's only one of the circle bubble trapped mermaids. There's only 2 of the crayon ones. So I couldn't include every single one. These cut lines are together for these little babies as well. I couldn't include every single one just because it would make everything way, way, way tinier. And I felt like as long as I had the representation of the days where I did a lot more, this was a much more visible size. And I wanted to make sure that when it goes into my journal, it looks great. And my journal is so little that, like, when you look at how much space I really have in the journal, that's just going to be great. It'll fit right in there and I can see it and it'll look great. So that's the page of minis. Put them in there for you as well, just in case you wanted them. But like I said, it's a duplicate for everything that's already in the set. So it's just another bonus. When you see on the thing, if I write bonus sheets, it's a little confusing for a month like this because I did promise that I would put all of the mermaid drawings in there. Bonus just means anything after 5. So even though the set is technically the 7 sheets, and I think that the minis is a bonus, technically anything after 5 counts as a bonus, just because each Collage Club month is 5 guaranteed printables. And I technically could have just given the first 5 and then waited until next month to give you the last 2. But for sets like this, I really just like to do it all at once and kind of make it this big thing. It's just like a huge mermaid pack now. So you'll always know that you'll have a big old mermaid set of printables. If you're ever in need to print out 400 mermaids at one time, you'll have the file in your computer. Also, don't forget to grab the silhouette print and cut files if you want to do what I do and print them out as stickers and use the ephemera straight from there. I cannot tell you how much that has changed my life. I mean, I know I rave on about it, but have I ever cut a piece of ephemera since then? Probably not. And I use so much of it. The only thing that frustrates me is sometimes I've done it on gloss and I wish it was on matte or transparent. But even then, I'll still use it. And there's a way to color on these as well. Just because it is glossy doesn't mean you can't take a marker. I'll just grab one. You can't take a marker and just draw over the top. It'll just be streaky. But if for whatever reason you wanted to, it's like it's not going to work. I actually find the water-based markers work a little bit better than the alcohol-based markers in this instance, which typically wouldn't be the case, but I think because of the gloss coating, something about that makes the alcohol markers much streakier than the water-based ones. So the Tombos are great, anything water-based really. They're not as streaky. But so you can just add a little quick color to that, match your little spread if you feel like it. Anyway, that's it. That's it for me. Happy Collage Club for June 2024. Thank you so much again for joining me on that mermaid journey. I know we kind of half committed to it, and I said I would, fingers crossed, hopefully get through it. I always plan to do my best and get through it, and I felt like I gave myself a good shot, and I feel like in hindsight, it all worked out exactly how I hoped it would. So I couldn't be happy with myself, really. I'll pat myself on the back for that one. I do have so much of Virtual Voyage 9 to get prepped for July. I'll be hopefully releasing more of that information about dates when I have that fully locked in on my end. I will always just kind of say be a bit flexible with that, because even once it's locked in, things could change, but I'm trying to make sure that I give us all the best chance to carve out some time for that. I believe it's a 3-week course this time. That's what I have written down. It may change, but 3 weeks probably leading up to my birthday, July 27th. So ish. Let's just say that. Let's say that. Possibly starting the 2nd week of July, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. I will let you know more about that soon. Have a wonderful week. Oh, happy Pride, everyone. If you celebrate, if you do whatever you do, have a colorful month and be happy, be safe. I will catch you again on Friday, back to our regular programming every Friday for the rest of our lives. See you then. Bye.